I'm very excited about this final speaker, Kate. Honestly, I'm setting her up for success in this, but this is a very interesting story that I've already recounted for a few friends, and it's pretty impressive what she's achieved. So Kate currently is a strategic account director for Salesforce. She's an experienced sales professional, has a background in marketing and hospitality. She worked her way up as an AE for Cooper Solutions. Then you went into marketing at Dyson before making your way over to Salesforce, and has been growing major accounts since then. Her topic is selling with MERAKI. Can we have a big round of applause for our final speaker, please?
Okay. Well, that's not pressure, is it? Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I want to talk to you today about selling with MERAKI. So the first question is, what is MERAKI? Does anyone know what MERAKI is? No one. No one's Googled it. Okay, fine. So MERAKI is a Greek term, and it means to do something with love, to do something with soul, and to put something of yourself into something. And MERAKI is a term that I discovered about 5 years ago, and it has literally changed my life. And it's put me on a path, and it's put me on a journey that is quite unusual. So I'm going to tell you a story, and this is a very personal story, but I'm prepared to share it with you today. I'm not going to go into gory details, but there's two parts of this story. My story starts 5 years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter, my first child. And at the end of the pregnancy, there was a major complication, and incredibly rare, 1 in 3 million women experience this. And it meant that I had to have an emergency cesarean section. I was planning a home birth, because I'm scared of hospitals. That's a true story. That didn't go to plan. So we had an emergency cesarean section, and after she was born, they discovered that I had a really serious problem. I was having major organ failure. So I was taken to intensive care, was put in a coma, and I had a 40% chance of survival, very nearly died. I recovered. I'm here today. I'm healthy and I'm well and I'm fine. Thank you. But it absolutely gave me a new lease of life, and it gave me a new perspective on life. And now everything I do in my life, I do with MERAKI, which is to put something of yourself into everything you do. And it's really powerful, and it's really important. So let me now tell you, well, how do you do that at work? So I went on and had a second child, which was a bit of a brave move, but all went fine. But I was on maternity leave, and when I came back from maternity leave, the company that I'd left, which was Salesforce, my whole team had changed. I had a new leader, had a new set of accounts, had a new set of everything, and I came back in July, which is the middle of the financial year for Salesforce. And essentially, the team that I worked with had chosen all the best accounts, and I was left with really this dud patch. I mean, it was really a rubbish patch and a huge quota. I was thinking, I've got 6 months and I've got to close this. And there was a lot of pressure because at the time, Salesforce was going through big restructure. A lot of people were looking at performance and how they were, what they were doing in their roles. And there's a particular account that I had. It had a very, very low install base, 300K, total contract value, 3 years. And that was my big bet. And I was thinking, right, how on earth am I going to talk to this customer? And previous AEs had this account and struggled, not got anywhere into the account, couldn't break into them, couldn't get them to open up, couldn't create exec relationships. And I really struggled. The worst thing for a rep is when you send an email and you get no reply. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to be MERAKI about this? This company is a cosmetics company. I'm not going to name the company, but you can probably work it out. It's a global cosmetic company across 37 countries. It's $1 billion business, and it's a rep-based business. So I signed up to be a rep. Not only did I sign up to be a rep, I spent 3 months building my business in the customer to get top 30 rep in my cluster, and developed such a strong point of view, lived and breathed it, and was literally going to the school gates and selling their products at the school gates. And so there wasn't a conflict of interest. I actually donate all of that commission to charity. So I've got a big charity heart as well. But I built up this point of view in this customer, and I got to this top 30 rep. And we had a meeting with the customer, and they basically said, look, there's not enough senior buy-in. And I thought, this is ridiculous. We really, really know this customer. I'm so deeply passionate about this customer. So I sent an email directly to the CEO of the business. And the email said, I'm a rep and I want to help your business. I didn't talk about Salesforce products. I just talked about my experience as a rep and what I truly, passionately believed we could do to help grow their business. I sent it at 5 o'clock, went downstairs, feeding my son and daughter their dinner, scooping yogurt off the floor. And I got a ping on my phone and it was the CEO. She replied 40 minutes later, like the contrast in my life. And I was like, oh my God, he's replied. And I read the email and the email said, I want to talk to you. Can you tell me more about what you think and what your point of view is? So I thought, how am I going to really deliver this message? So I did a video. I sat and I recorded a video message to her and I showed her my point of view. I gave real customer examples as a rep and I sent this video back to her. And she replied and said, okay, I want you to meet with my senior executive team. I met with the first senior exec in November. He was really angry with me, by the way, because I'd gone to his boss. And the first meeting was a little bit awkward, but actually we ended the meeting on really, really good terms, really great terms. And 3 months later, we closed a multi-million-dollar deal for 2 clouds. And it doubled my quota. It was amazing. Now, having done that, it would be very easy to go, do you know what, job done, walk away, But instead, it was really important to me because I continued to be a rep for this business. I continued to grow my knowledge about their business. I continued to truly live and breathe their products, really bring MERAKI to life through this experience. And so the next year, which was last year, we lent in. We lent in hard. We had all connections through the whole business. I managed to get kind of connections into senior leaders and get them to come into our office for 3 hours every week to support them in building case studies to help grow their business, support them in their growth, and really understand them. Talking about being personalized, everything we did was personalized. We lived and breathed the customer personally and as a team. And that meant over the past year, they're now on 7 Salesforce clouds. And yesterday, they published their annual report. And the CEO specifically called out the fact that they have a partnership with Salesforce. We're the only vendor that they've actually named in their global account. So I'm so incredibly proud of how we've built this relationship. And it's just an example of where being authentic to yourself, bringing your soul, your creativity, and love to what you do, you can never have Sunday night blues because you're always being true to yourself. So my challenge to you is, are you being MERAKI? How are you using MERAKI in your life? And how can you lean in to the opportunity more? Thank you.